Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Where do we begin? I am so disgusted with what we just saw here in Game 1 against the Miami Marlins. Honestly, though, we should not be surprised because this team has struggled against the Marlins all last season, and obviously nothing has changed whatsoever. And what upsets me the most is this. The top of the lineup, your 1 through 4 hitters were flat out garbage. 1 for 14. And that one hit was Rhys Hoskins with a little bloop and the little nonsense little blooper hit in the infield. So that essentially doesn't even count in my books. The top of the lineup, it was disgraceful. Andrew McCutchen, Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, and JT Realmuto. JT Realmuto actually had an opportunity in the 8th inning to make a little bit of noise. There was a man on first and second base. He had a 3-0 count. He let a meatball right down the middle go, which, okay, I get it. Not everyone's going to get the green light all the time. With hindsight, I would have liked to see him maybe swing the stick there. And ultimately, when it was a full count, he grounded right back to the pitcher, and there you go. And at that time, it was a 5-2 baseball game, and who knew what could have happened? Who knew what type of rally could have really occurred after that moment? But here it is. I mean, here's the top of the lineup that couldn't find a way to get any rhythm off of Sandy. Okay, we're talking about Sandy, who went 6 2/3 and had 7 strikeouts. He was phenomenal for that Miami Marlins team tonight, and it's a shame that this damn Phillies lineup couldn't get anything going. The only person I can give some claps to offensively is Didi Gregorius, who put on one hell of a performance. He had that beautiful dinger to tie the baseball game up 1-1. And I guess I can give some golf claps to Scott Kingery as well offensively because in my eyes, that was a home run. Okay, he hit one over the left field foul line pole, and they said that it wasn't a home run, but if you look at the replay, the way that it went over, it was so close. I thought it was a home run, and that could have changed the baseball game, so I'll give him props for that swing. In my eyes, that was a dinger, and the umpires and wherever they reviewed the play, they got it wrong, but I digress. Wasn't good enough. Flat out wasn't good enough, and I'll look at Aaron Nola as well, and I'll tell you why after you hear a word from my sponsor, Orbit Energy and Power. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. They have over 20 years of experience in the solar industry. So if you are looking for residential or commercial projects, they are your home to your solar experts. They also provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, tree removals, and more. Their information is in the description. So here's why I have an issue with Aaron Nola. And when I say issue, look, he is a really good pitcher in this league, no doubt about it. But I always have the debate with many Phillies fans out there about him being a true number 1 ace, and I don't think that he is. I think he's a phenomenal number 2. But I don't think he's a true number 1 ace, and he struggled at one point, all right? It's an 0-2 count to Jesús, all right? Jesús Augilar up at the plate, and he hits a bomb, an 0-2 bomb, when you have someone like Aaron Nola playing around with that curveball, that off-speed pitch. Why do you think he was playing around with that off-speed pitch? Maybe he didn't trust his fastball anymore at that point. He hit a wall there in the 6th inning, and it has happened a lot, and I mentioned this. I tweeted it out, and you can follow me on Twitter, @Broads81, that 2018 Aaron Nola. When you look at the stats of the 2018 Aaron Nola, that's the outlier. That's the one that doesn't match the other years that he has had. Now, to be fair, the other years that he has had, it's not like he's been a flat-out dumpster fire by any means. So me pointing out that the 2018 Aaron Nola is not like the others, it doesn't mean that I'm saying he's some horrendous pitcher. It just tells me that maybe he's not that Cy Young conversation type player that he had that one year. And if you date back to that season, DeGrom was on another level. He was on another planet, so no doubt about it. He was going to win that. Like, it was a no-brainer. But he was more of like that shoe-in third finalist. And there's no problem with being that, right? I mean, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to be the third finalist when it comes to that NL Cy Young. But he really isn't that Cy Young level pitcher that we are hoping for him to be. I think he's more of what he has been in every other year to this point in Philadelphia. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. He's just not a pure number one ace, and I think that has showed. And when you look over his last starts dating back to last season, he is winless in a long period of time. And it's not like he had a lot of run support. I totally understand that. I'm not saying Aaron Nola stinks, okay? Let me clarify for the people out there that want to run away with things. I'm not saying he stinks, but I just don't think that he is that Aaron Nola that we saw 2 years ago where he was electric, where he was dynamite. I have always been concerned with a pitcher who doesn't have stuff that can go high 90s, all right? He doesn't have that pure speed. And in 2020, you need the velocity. You got to be up in the high 90s. And when you start losing fastballs like he did in this game, and he has to start toying around with some off-speed pitches, you get yourself in some trouble. Not only was it the Aguilar bomb that got him in trouble, it was that Corey Dickerson hit right after that where he roped it down the right field line. And from there, you knew it was time for Joe Girardi to step in, and he did just that. But it was interesting to see what Joe Girardi went with after that. He throws in a little Rosso. I mean, the guy couldn't figure it out whatsoever, all over the place, clearly overthinking, clearly trying to overthrow. He's throwing pitches in the dirt. He can't even find a way to get it anywhere near JT Realmuto at all. That was a total mess. Then I had to watch Austin Davis come in. This bullpen is going to be a serious issue when it comes to this team. And I think we knew that once we saw the 30-man roster go up just a couple of days ago. We knew that, whoa, hold on here. Who the hell is in the bullpen? We don't know any of these players. So it's not like it's breaking news that this bullpen is going to be a mess. But, you saw it actually happen in game one. And it's game one. It's game one. It's a 60-game season, though. So how much more important is game one? Well, I think it's very important. Now that, 16 teams get into the playoffs, it's even different. Because 500 teams essentially are going to be able to get in. So it takes a little stress off of if they did not expand the playoffs. I said it, though. Once I saw the expanded playoffs and I saw that if you come first and second in your division, you're good to go, I still don't see this team making the playoffs. I still don't think they're coming in the top two and even sneaking into a wild card spot. I don't. I just flat out don't. I don't think they have enough. And we'll see if I'm wrong. I said this before game one, so it's not as if I'm reacting, making that type of statement after game one here. This is something I've been on the record saying for a little bit of time, that they weren't going to make the playoffs. And even with the expanded rosters, I looked at them and I see them behind the Braves. I see them behind the Nationals. I see them behind the Mets, as much as we rip apart the Mets. I don't think they have enough. They don't have enough starting pitching, and they don't have enough in the bullpen. And it's only going to play itself out. The only reason why this team would have a chance is if their offense could hit. And when you look at these players, it's not as if they have a dumpster fire lineup. They have a good lineup. They have a deep lineup when it comes to hitting. The problem is they actually have to do it. They actually have to hit the ball. They have to be able to drive the baseball. You can't have your top guys up at the top of the lineup give you a flat-out dud like they gave you today. They were lucky to even get that second run. Well, they hit it out to center field. Villar drops it. Didi was busting his ass running, but he dropped it. It was a joke. The offense was brutal. It was stale. It couldn't find out its flow at all. It was incredibly poor. What'd you think about Rhys Hoskins batting second? I don't love it. I don't like Rhys Hoskins batting second. And he got that little dinky blooper. So you look at the stat line and you see the hit. I saw so many ugly swings by Rhys Hoskins. The swings that I have seen throughout that process last season. And the Rhys Hoskins conversation, it just upsets me. because the way that I'm hearing that he's changing his mechanics at the plate after all off-season long, he's putting together a new swing and he's already changed that. Once you're lost to that extent, once you're flip-flopping and changing left and right just like he did already from the offseason to now, something's wrong. I mean, there is a disconnect in the brain when it comes to swinging the baseball bat, and you're overanalyzing every little part of your swing, and that's what's going to hurt you as a baseball player. That's where you're going to get lost as a baseball player, and I think that's where he is to an extent. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he shuts me up. I hope he goes 4 for 4 next game, but I just don't see that being the case. I don't like him in that second spot at all, quite frankly. I don't. I think Joe Girardi, though, has been in this moment many of times, and I hear him speaking after the game on Phillies Post-Game Live, which, I'll be honest with you, one, it's refreshing just to see a game of baseball, right? Two, it's refreshing to see post-game and pre-game live when it comes to Phillies, no doubt. Ricky Bell, right? Ricky Bell giving you a little something after the game, which you were excited for. Once you saw the game play out, you thought, hey, here's a positive, Ricky Bell. And then you saw him, and as the Phillies post-game live started to get going, you saw a little more. But he said, it's game one. I'm not going to lose myself too much because if they win 2 of 3, and this is a totally different story, and that is absolutely true. But going back to the postgame live, you hear Joe Girardi speak, and it's a different tone. It's not the same as what you heard from Gabe Kapler year after year here in Philadelphia. And oh, by the way, let's go back to opening night on Thursday night when the Dodgers played the San Francisco Giants, and you have Gabe Kapler messing up the bullpen. It was brutal decisions, taking out Brandon Crawford. Like, what are you doing, dude? That team is full of nobodies, and here you are taking out your one guy that you can ultimately rely on. But I don't really care or give a damn about Gabe Kapler anymore. I'm just, one, thinking it's hilarious to see him struggle on opening night with the same damn mistakes that he has had here in Philly over the last 2 seasons. And 2, I compared it to how refreshing it is to hear a real manager like Joe Girardi speak after the game. And I'm not saying that this team is never going to win any baseball games because of this loss. I just quite frankly look at them and I don't think that they are good enough from a pitching standpoint, all-around pitching standpoint, and that's a problem. You need pitching to win baseball games. You need legit pitching, and I just don't think that it has legit pitching, and only time will tell. If Vince Velasquez is really who we think he's going to be, then maybe you have somebody else. Sense the sarcasm, please. You got to beat up on the Orioles. You got to beat up on the Marlins because you have the Yankees. You have the Red Sox. I know the Red Sox aren't what they always are, but they're still not a bad team either. Okay, you have the Tampa Bay Rays. You have the Buffalo Blue Jays. And they're a fun, exciting team. They're not as good as the other teams, but they're fun and exciting, and they're no brutal team. And then you got your own division. These are the wins you got to capitalize on. That's the problem. Now, you win 2 or 3, it's a different vibe, it's a different story. But now the pressure's on to win this series. The 16 teams in the playoffs, it changes a lot, no doubt. It takes the stress off these players, and it's not as crucial as every game matters in this 60-game stretch. That was the big conversation between the two parties added this on. And by the way, I think adding this on is somewhat hilarious because the players try to stand their ground. There's 2 ways to look at this. The way that I look at it is this. The players tried to stand their ground. We don't want those extra playoff games to kind of say, screw you to the owners. We don't want those playoff games. And then once they figure it all out, oh, hey, how about those extra playoff games? And then the players get a little bit of share. I mean, it's all nonsense, right? The whole way that this thing played out. The points they were trying to make when they were going through the back and forth, once they once the league settled it and they came to an agreement, and I'm saying air quotes because the league had to step in, now it's time to reassess some of the conversations to make more money again. And I'm not upset about it for a 60-game sprint. I don't want it when the things return back to normal, though. I don't want it when it's 162. But for this season, sure, I get it. Make up for some lost money that you lose out on because of the fans in the stands. I don't get hating it. I don't understand hating it whatsoever because you got to comprehend they are losing out on so much money. Here's an opportunity for the league to make some of that money back. I hate to break it to you. Sports is all about a business, right? It's all about about making money. If they don't care about making money, then they wouldn't have even put this product back on the field right now. With all these sports, they wouldn't be trying to get through COVID-19. It's all about the Benjamins. So, of course, they're trying to make some money. So, from this standpoint of this season, yes, I can get behind the 16-game playoff schedule. Less stress for the Phillies, right? This game doesn't mean as much as it would have if there was not a 16-team playoff format. But reality is it still hurts because you need to beat up on these poor teams. So then when you face the Yankees, when you face these other teams, you don't have to put as much pressure to win the damn baseball game. And now that's going to change, right? If you lose these type of games, then you got to go into New York and win, and it's different. Although the fans, right, the postcards, it's the environment's not the same as going into New York when fans are actually in there. But you get my point. Oh, Corey Dickerson out there getting some hits. You knew that was coming. I was waiting for the Sean Rodriguez grand slam at some point. Waiting for it. See, it's going to be a boring night watching some of these bullpen guys come into play. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Technically, it could be an exciting night. Exciting in terms of laughable. You're getting some entertainment. How is this guy in the game? How is this guy on the roster? Why did they cut Liriano? That type of laughter, right? That type of excitement, that type of entertainment. You're going to get that on a nightly basis because this team flat out doesn't have enough in that bullpen, and you're going to be shocked by a lot of these players because, one, you just don't know who they are. Two, they don't have enough experience. And three, they're overwhelmed at times. I mean, this kid tonight was so overwhelmed, he was just throwing crap into the dirt. JT Realmuto couldn't even do anything. And I got a little bone to pick with JT Realmuto tonight, Mr. Best Catcher in Baseball. Now, he did a couple things defensively that I liked. The first gun out, he should have had him out, but Scott Kingery didn't apply the tag properly, so shame on the tag. That was a good throw. And he gunned the guy out in second base the next time they attempted. So from that standpoint, he did his thing. But offensively, he bothered me tonight. Offensively, he bothered me. He's sitting in that cleanup spot. He's got to execute. He's got to deliver. He's got to come up big. And he failed. And he failed in the eighth inning when I thought that there was a chance for this Phillies lineup to actually get something going, to get into a little bit of groove, to create some offense. And hell, I'm not giving Bryce Harper a pass. Look, those cleats, steez. I'm not lying to you. Flat out fire. Unbelievable. It was so sick to see those cleats. One of a kind. Nobody can just pull that off, right? Only guys like Bryce Harper can pull that off. You can't be having that type of night. You can't be swinging and missing like that. You got to put the ball in play. You can't be striking out left and right. Now, let's see if they pick it up tomorrow. Let's see if they can find a way to beat this damn team tomorrow with Zach Wheeler on the mound. The team dodged a bullet. They were able to get Zach Wheeler to pitch in this opening weekend because his wife ended up having the baby. Congratulations to them. But that allows Zach Wheeler to be here this weekend and actually pitch on this second game. But he's got to bring it. The last time we saw him, I think he struggled. He battled. He really had to grind. It wasn't disgustingly awful by any means, but it sure was a grind. He really had to find his pitches. He really had to figure out that off-speed pitch. The thing with Zach Wheeler is sometimes I think he flirts around with that a bit. Bring the heat, brother. You got the hot fastball. You have the ability to throw that 98, 97, 96 type fastball. Do it. Do it. I'm already getting fired up thinking about Zach Wheeler tomorrow because I feel like there's going to be times where he starts playing around with it, trying to get pretty, trying to get cute. Come on, bro. Calm down a little bit. My frustration tonight, it goes to two sets of people. The top four in the lineup and Aaron Nola. And I thought Aaron Nola was fine through 5. It was that 6th inning that really caused him some trouble. But my ace, they're not having that type of performance in the 6th. They're getting through it. He had 7 Ks. It wasn't a miserable night by any means. He showed you what he can do through the first 5, but he hit that wall in the 6th. And I've seen him hit that wall before. My type of ace, that doesn't happen. My type of ace, Garrett Cole, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, those are my type of aces. And I guess it's how you value the word ace. It's like the quarterback in the NFL, elite. Well, what do you classify as elite? Because I only have a handful of guys. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes. Then I draw the line. With elite, there's only a handful of elite guys. Chris Sale's another one. There's only a handful of guys. Not my ace. Not an ace. Doesn't mean he's a bad pitcher. Now, he's going to have some great performances, no doubt. But his averages are going to average to what it is. And when I look at what he has been so far here in Philadelphia, it's been a certain way besides 2018. 2018 is the one that doesn't make sense compared to the rest of his career. So shut me the hell up, Aaron Nola, please. It's interesting, though, that this happened tonight because I literally just had that debate today on 97.3 ESPN. I was on from 1 to 3:30 going into the Sixers game, but earlier in the show, before we got into that pregame Sixers hype conversation, we talked about the Phillies opening day, and we talked about this lineup, and I kind of got attacked a bit when I said, I don't think that Nola is a pure ace. That's not a knock on him. That's not a knock on him. He's a good pitcher. Not an ace. I love Aaron Nola. I do. I'm just basing this off of statistics. Basing this off of a career now. Just pointing out numbers. Pointing out what he has done. That's all. Hopefully he's more aggressive with his fastball when he gets later in the games in his next start. There were times last year where he was tough to watch. And getting up 0-2 hits, 0-2 home runs to Jesús Augilar. Please, stop. Well, we knew it was going to happen, though, to the Marlins. We knew it. We joked about it for so long. We knew it was going to happen. The stinking Marlins, and we witnessed it. You better win tomorrow. Don't give me no start the season off 0-2 crap. You beat them tomorrow. A real team, this is no business. This is no business happening. You go into the ballpark and you demolish lesser opponents. Stop with this. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, this episode of Sports Talk with Broads is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, they are home to your solar experts. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. That's not all. They provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, and more. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you next time.